The Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Union floated like a jewel in the darkness of space. An enormous structure of silver and crystal, suspended above the swirling clouds of the neutral planet Varian. Delegates from hundreds of species streamed through its gates, some with ornate energy rifles slung over their shoulders, others with bladed ceremonial weapons strapped to their sides. Every race was permitted to bear arms within these chambers. Every race, except one. At the far end of the hall, 2 security guards from the insectoid car race stopped a human delegate. He was tall, broad-shouldered, wearing the standard dark blue uniform of Earth's diplomatic corps. The name tag read Captain Elias Kane. "Your weapon, human," one guard said, his mandibles clicking. "I don't have one," Kane replied evenly. "That's the point," the other guard hissed, waving a claw toward the scanner archway. "Humans are forbidden from carrying them." Kane stepped through, the arch buzzing faintly, scanning him for concealed arms. Of course, it found none. Nearby, a young avian delegate named Sereth from the planet Corin tilted his feathered head in curiosity. "I never understood that rule," he whispered to his companion. "Why deny only humans the right to bear arms? Are they so weak that the assembly pities them?" The older Corin beside him let out a low, amused trill. "Weak? Hatchling. They are the only species who doesn't need a weapon to kill you." Sereth's feathers ruffled. "That makes no sense. The galaxy is full of predators." "Yes," the elder agreed, his eyes tracking Kane as the human made his way to his seat. "But predators rely on tooth, claw, or steel. Humans? They rely on something far worse, their minds. It had not always been this way. 200 cycles earlier, humans had first been invited to the assembly after proving themselves capable of faster-than-light travel. At first, the other races thought little of them. Their ships were crude, their worlds few, their biology unremarkable. But then came the Vorgga incident. The Vorgga were a warlike reptilian species, their warriors considered unmatched in close combat. In a minor territorial dispute, a single human ambassador had been cornered in an assembly corridor by 6 armed Vorgga guards. The humans, still unfamiliar with galactic protocol, were allowed to carry sidearms at the time. He didn't use his weapon. Instead, he looked at the guards, gauged the space, and acted with terrifying precision. In less than 12 seconds, 3 were unconscious, 2 lay bleeding on the floor, and the last was using his own plasma rifle as a shield against the humans' approach. Security footage spread through the galaxy in hours. The human had improvised, using environmental panels, energy conduit discharges, and even a broken datapad as tools of destruction. No claws, no venom, no exoskeletal armor. Just hands, feet, and a brain that saw the environment itself as a weapon. Since then, the ban had been unanimous. Delegates still whispered stories of human soldiers who could dismantle combat drones with nothing but wires and a wrench, of spacefarers who turned air filtration systems into lethal traps, of engineers who could weaponize a starship's coffee machine if pushed. It wasn't cruelty that frightened the galaxy. It was the sheer creativity. Back in the present, Sereth couldn't help but keep watching Kane. The human was seated calmly, listening as the Varian Chancellor droned on about trade tariffs. But then, without warning, a sharp explosion echoed through the chamber. The lights flickered. Panic rippled through the delegates as smoke poured from the upper tiers. Armed guards from dozens of worlds rushed toward the disturbance. The few who reached it were cut down instantly by figures in matte black armor. Mercenaries, here to assassinate the Chancellor. Sereth froze. His people had never fought in close quarters. He gripped his ceremonial spear, unsure if it would even matter. Kane, on the other hand, was already moving. He didn't have a rifle. He didn't have armor. But he vaulted the conference table, snatched a fallen guard's shield emitter, and slammed it into the nearest attacker's helmet, shorting out their visor. He kicked another into a support column, disarming them before they could react. In 30 seconds, the assassins were either unconscious or restrained with their own gear. The hall fell silent, except for the crackle of the still active shield Kane held in his hand. Sereth's feathers fluffed out in awe. You had no weapon," he stammered. Kane glanced over, eyes calm. Everyone has a weapon, he said. Some of us just don't have to carry it. From that day forward, Sereth understood. The rule was not to protect humans from the galaxy. It was to protect the galaxy from humans.